And we are back here at the Tournated Basingstoke Pickleball Cup. On behalf of picklebee.co.uk and Pickleball Events, powered by Skechers Pickleball and Franklin. If you've stepped away for a moment, you won't want to miss what's coming up, because on show court, it is the grand finale, the showpiece of the evening. It's the open mixed doubles final featuring Christo Frylinck and the ultra impressive Helen Kenna. They'll be taking on Nathan Hill and Claire Bourgoin in what's scheduled to be an absolute classic here. So like, share and subscribe, because you won't want to miss.
With Yola Pickleball, this is the new.
We're about to get started, and joining me on comms for the final is Simon. The two best teams on show here in our open mixed division, battling it out. This is going to be great.
I'm really looking forward to this one, actually, Nick. I think they're really evenly matched teams. It'll be interesting to see the tactics that each team employs against the other. Early points scored to Helen Kenna and Christo Frylinck. Interesting, Frylinck can strike the lob again.
Whatever you're doing, make sure you're tuning in to your screens right now. Forget the FA Cup final, forget Eubank versus Ben. The main sporting action of the weekend is about to unfold. The biggest stories, the biggest headlines right here for Picklebee and Pickleball Events. In our final, we've got a race to 11 in each game, but you must get to 2 games to be able to take home the gold medal. Frylinck and Kenna arrive unbeaten all afternoon and evening. Bourgoin and Hill arrive with a tail between their legs after overcoming Basford and Reynoso in the Court 2 semi-final quite comfortably. That ball just takes an awkward bounce. Frylinck sends it long.
Felt like Christo Frylinck just forced the point there. He could have let that just drop in and dink off it rather than take it out of the air.
Early exchanges in our final. Frylinck and Kenna have shown us today that whether they're leading from the front or having to come from behind, they've got the capability to do both. And what a great lob there, Simon, from Frylinck. More and more as the day's gone on, as we've gone into our senior division, we've seen the lob deployed as a shot and a tactic with great regularity.
Yeah, I mean, it is a weapon. There's no two ways about it, because you just don't expect them to go in. But Chris hits them pretty much 9 out of 10, I'd say. And, you know, you're just on the back foot. It's a bit like a drop goal in rugby. You can't do anything about it.
Yeah, really impressed with Christo Frylinck. Every time I watch him, nice and composed on court, nice and controlled. Lots of class. And that carry just goes wide from Kenna. Hill walks away casually, just controls himself. Very experienced and adept at just managing his emotions in between points, Nathan Hill. And the disguise, the unplanned disguise from Frylinck and Kenna just comes to bear fruit there. It's nice to see Helen Kenna at the top of her game as well here, Simon.
Yeah, she's had a few partners in the last few years. Obviously, with Rob Williams for quite some time, but I think poor old Rob has body's letting him down a little bit. So, yeah, but I think this is a really good partnership for her. Chris is a strong player, but also lets her play as well, which is great to see in the mixed doubles game.
Lovely lady on and off court as well, Helen Kenna, to match her pickleball ability. Claire Bourgoin just sends that serve wide. And the partnership of Bourgoin and Hill are very well established in comparison to Kenna and Frylinck here. That's nice control from Hill at the kitchen. Just puts that volley into an irretrievable place. Great rescue from Frylinck. Good communication for Bourgoin. And the lob from Frylinck again comes to fruition. Hill and Bourgoin switched, but ultimately it's the attacking shot of the lob that wins the rally. It's a great standard, Simon.
Absolutely. And again, that lob from Chris Frylinck right on the money causes Claire and Nathan to go back to the back of the court, and they win the point off of it. Really, really clever tactic.
Nathan Hill just expressing a little bit of emotion after that point, trying to get himself going. Yeah, really nice drive from Frylinck, choosing to target the player who's stuck on the baseline as opposed to the player at the kitchen line. Hill and Bourgoin found themselves front and back rather than side to side. I just feel strategy-wise they need to keep the ball away from Frylinck as much as possible if they're to have success, Hill and Bourgoin, Simon.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. Exactly from the last game, wasn't it? Chris got a bit cold, wasn't playing, and the other team were winning. So, yeah, it's definitely a strategy for Hill and
Something for them to reflect on, maybe, at some point. That's nicely put away from Helen Kenna, who reads the play from Nathan Hill. Hill tries to speed up out wide. Kenna positions herself nicely on the sideline and just pops that volley away. So we're tied here in the first game at 4-4. Nathan Hill gets away with it and shouts that's what he wants. But on another play, Frylinck just powers that ball away, Simon.
Yeah, those are hard to call shots, aren't they? So that should have been a put away for Chris, but no one's perfect. And again, on the other hand of the side, there's Nathan putting it into the net straight away. He'd normally put those away 9 times out of 10.
Yeah, 2 high balls missed by both Hill and Frylinck here on the volley. That catches the sideline. Got to keep the ball away from the forehand of Frylinck because it's a weapon of mass destruction. Ball just goes wide from Kenna. Frylinck sees the funny side of it. So, tight affair, edgy affair. Quality pickleball though. High standard.
his competitions are a long old day, and you just feel when he gets to the final, there's got to be a bit of tiredness creeping in. It seems at points being won at the moment by mistakes rather than winners.
Yeah, it's very late on day one here, 10 hours for Simon, myself and Colin in the commentary booth here. Colin, our technical director.
Technical geek, really. You didn't hear that.
All thoroughly enjoyable though, and the ball rolls across the net tape and just falls favourably for Frylinck. Apology comes, I'm not too sure it was meant though, and both sides have endured non-scoring side out after non-scoring side out. 4 non-scoring side outs in a row. Potential for another one here, which just highlights and identifies 2 things. 1, it's edgy and players are nervous. 2, the team who get to the kitchen line first are in the ascendancy. 5th non-scoring side out in a row. Let's see if Bourgoin and Hill can trouble Simon Farr's index finger on the scoreboard here. Not on the first occasion. Hill tries the soft hand reset into the kitchen. Just sends it into the net. Short serve, slice return. That's not coming back. Yes, it is. That's not coming back though. Boom from Christo Frylinck. And Simon Farr, 6 non-scoring side outs in a row.
All I can say is I'm just glad it's the end of the day, because if we were scheduling now, we'd be panicking. Oh my God, this match is going to go on forever. I know I sound really boring, but it is a fact. A thing, I should say.
Simon Farr goes to bed thinking of logistics, wakes up thinking of logistics. But there we see our first point in 7 exchanges.
Quite interesting. That's always things that I've found that's a bit of a game changer when you've been stuck on a point, whether it's 3-2, 1-0 or whatever else. Well, just prove me wrong. You normally go on a run and then it goes in there.
You're normally right, Simon Farr, and they've still got the opportunity to do that. Just go, that mini advantage seems fairly seismic at this stage. As you allude to, when you've been stuck on a scoreline for so long and then you're able to get off it again, sometimes you can go on a run, but not to be here. So 1 point the damage on that turnaround. Bourgoin quite wisely having a chat with Nathan Hill here and probably saying more to him than turn your cap around. Nicely placed, and you can see the joy in the reaction of Bourgoin because they've won a point.
That's a mental battle when you get stuck on those points and you're just like, I've got to win a point, I've got to win a point. Yeah, big relief for both of that partnership.
1 breeds 2.
Here we go, this is the run that I was talking about.
Have you got a saying about London buses or something like that, Simon, to go with this?
That's an old one, mate. I'll try and make one up now. Let me have a little thing. I'm so old, I remember the horse and carriage.
That's how you arrived today, wasn't it?
I'm all electric, mate. Free me.
Simon Farr doing his bit for the climate. I believe Picklebee do something for the environment in relation to recycled balls as well, Simon, is that right?
As Sorry, I missed that.
Picklebee do something in relation to recycled pickleballs at the end of the day, or squash balls?
We're making trophies out of recycled pickleballs for the end of the Franklin Pickleball Tour, basically, courtesy of Maisie Wise. It's nothing on the scale of Jack and Freddie at UK Pickleball Shop, though, who are actually making paddles out of recycled pickleballs.
Yeah, and I think that's linked into the Sam Basford Classroom to Court initiative. So those pieces of equipment are being funded, which is ultra impressive, but nice to see organisations here in the UK such as the Pickleball Shop and Picklebee taking use of plastics seriously. Meanwhile, Hill punches another volley deep towards the baseline, and they've got a 2-point advantage in this crucial first game. Neither team garnering any level of momentum. Remains ultra competitive here in the Tournated Basingstoke Pickleball Cup.
I wonder if Bourgoin and Hill can build on that, because they've had a non-scoring side out and they've gone 2 points up. So a couple more points from this side out, and it's still the pressure's on Kenna and Frylinck. Oh, that was out.
It's going out. Nevertheless, Rally stays live.
Oh.
Chris Frylinck is late on that. Hill shouts, "Come on!" And it's a 3-point lead now for Hill and Bourgoin. For my liking, Simon, Chris Frylinck is still hitting too many balls.
Yeah, but also, like I said about the pressure, is that he knew he had to put that away, and what happens? He puts it in the net. So there's a 3-point advantage. Pressure is definitely back on Kenna and Frylinck.
Aggression from Nathan Hill, who flexes himself, shows his feathers, peacocking here in our mixed doubles open final. They go into a 4-point lead, and they have ascertained the ascendancy.
And he's still got a chance to finish this with two points left.
Yeah, they want to get this first game under their belt as soon as possible. Now Frylinck will look to arrest that momentum.
Frylinck closing out. All Kenna. There we go. Free someone out, suddenly got one shot. It doesn't go in.
Yeah, great strategy from Bourgoin, and Hill brings up game points. Great reactions from Nathan Hill, not once but twice. But the gap's left by Bourgoin. Frylinck exposes it.
Pressure's still back on Frylinck and Kenna now, because we've got to score from the side out. And there he probably took a ball that was going out because of that pressure.
Yeah, pressure's talent here, and it's Bourgoin and Hill who have perfected a way to get into the lead here. Oh, and Hill just hits Helen in the face. Kenna's fine, I'm pleased to report.
She's tough, Helen. She'll deal with that well.
Never nice for a glasses wearer to get the ball on the head. But Hill's just stepped it up a peg or two here, Simon.
It feels that way, doesn't it? He's definitely got the delta on his legs. He knows they're in the ascendancy.
And there we go again. All class from Nathan Hill, who put his foot on the accelerator and fairly zoomed away in that first game. So Nathan Hill and Claire Bourgoin take the first game of the final. They'll look to seal the deal in the second game. And Frylinck and Kenna are left discussing the strategy of how they're going to make a comeback, because they must win this second game, Simon.
Yeah, it's always tricky, isn't it, with a best of three, is that so the pressure shifts a little bit now in terms of it's a bit more on Bourgoin and Hill because they're 1-love up and they don't want to go into a third set. So they'll want to win the second game, but if Frylinck and Kenna can just get a few points on the board early doors, suddenly they'll be thinking, oh, we don't want to go to a third game. So it's all about the mental toughness of the players, about how they'll deal with whatever comes in. Whatever comes over the net.
Yeah, so Helen Kenna and Chris Frylinck deep in discussion there, and if I had some advice to them at this stage in proceedings, I'd be looking to think a little bit more down towards the left-hand side of Bourgoin onto her backhand, try and find her left foot or the space around her left foot, and just cut out those attacking options for Bourgoin. Very talented on that forehand drive mid-court and on the baseline, but bring her to the kitchen line and then play onto her left foot for backhand dinking purposes. But we'll see what develops. It's a must-win for Frylinck and Kenna. And we've got our results in from our bronze medal match as well, Simon. And the bronze goes to Ian Marshall and Tracy Walker.
Wow. Didn't see that one coming, did you?
No, but they've been the most consistent pair throughout the course of the day between them and their opponents. So would have expected a victory. Well, Basford and Reynoso would have been the favourites there, but Walker and Marshall have clearly applied their consistent game when it mattered there in that medal matchup, so they walk away with a bronze medal. Congratulations to Marshall and Walker. That's better from Kenna.
It's interesting what Scott was saying earlier about how the game's changed again, where people are actually bringing people into the kitchen. You feel like that's what Frylinck and Kenna need to do, actually, because every time Frylinck smashes the ball at Hill, he resets. He's really good with a volley. Make him and Claire, didn't he?
Yeah, completely agree, Simon Farr. It's the strategy that's going to be most effective, I think, for Frylinck and Kenna. It's that power game with the ball just lofting up over and over again, as we see there. It's just really easy, it seems, for Bourgoin and Hill to either punish or reset, where if they get that ball bouncing into the kitchen, it just creates a different dimension and an alternative challenge for them.
And also, it's another mental thing to think about, isn't it? So they'll realise the strategy's changed, and they'll think, why is that? You know, just cause a bit of confusion, a bit of uncertainty.
Yeah, and it's patience that's lacking here for Kenna and Frylinck. Frylinck just making 1 or 2 errors here, just trying to do a little bit too much at times, where resetting the ball into that kitchen, as Simon Farr advises, might be a better strategy. Easy to see when you're off court though. The ball was going long and Hill volleyed it. Again, just struggles to see the lines sometimes, Hill, with his colour blindness, but
Oh, is that it? I was going to say, because he's a great player, but there's a few outballs now he's hit, which would seem, at his level of play, he will just let those go.
And again, he'll never use that as an excuse, but
Was a factor.
Yeah, it's a fact. And it must be challenging at times. Oh, there we go. That's what we've been asking for, Simon Farr.
It's like Helen's been listening to us.
Helen Kenna enjoying the fruits of her labour there, getting the ball to bounce in the kitchen and wins the point. Simple game, pickleball, isn't it, Simon?
It can be. I think sometimes the players make it more complicated than you think it is. So yeah, as you say, go back to listening to pickleball. And Nathan doesn't look comfortable, does he?
No.
Every time it's gone in by his feet, it's popped up.
Yeah, the ball bounced in the kitchen again. Hill pops up, and Kenna just not able to exploit the pop-up with the volley. But the strategy was there. The strategy was effective. It was just the finishing gloss that was missing. Nice deep return from Frylinck.
Still driving the ball. Drop it in the kitchen. There we go.
Yeah, that time she's just unlucky. Helen Kenna, who tries to treat the ball like a caterpillar, extending it over the net, lifting it over the net, praying that it goes over to the net.
Pretty sure that is illegal.
Speed up's going long from Hill.
Yeah.
And he knows it as well. He's got away with one. Kenna plays, possibly thinking about the headshot earlier on. Either way, it's Bourgoin and Hill. We have a 1 point lead again. And that's long from Frylinck, Simon.
I reckon they are listening to us now because that's the first one Nathan's left. Look, it's charging for this coaching.
Simon Farr, logistics manager, commentator, and also coach, as well as commentator. No job too big.
I thought you were going to say entrepreneur then.
Got the lots. It's nice reset from Nathan Hill. Claire Bourgoin with the finishing play. And they've got a 3 point lead here and are 5 points away from the gold medal in our Tournated Pickleball Cup.
Oh.
Second scoring opportunity here.
So we'll stop for the little conversation, try and get the tactics right for the next point.
Yeah, that's great play from Bourgoin, and Kenna just with the error there in the kitchen. But Claire Bourgoin and Nathan Hill are looking strong here in their quest for gold in our final game of the day. Wherever you're joining us from around the world or here in the UK, we thank you for joining us today here on behalf of picklebee.co.uk and Pickleball Events. Don't forget to join us tomorrow for our mixed doubles and senior gender doubles. That's great power from Nathan Hill. once more. Frylinck and Kenna are just really struggling to trouble the scoreboard here.
I was just about to say, you feel they've got to score a point on this side out, and they can go and do that. So we'll just see if they can get on a bit of a run now.
Coming up after this final, we'll have an interview with our winners before closing out the coverage, so stay with us. Great work through the transition zone by Hill, gets to the kitchen line, and as he describes to us in the commentary booth, punches the volley towards Helen Kenna. Big speed up from Frylinck on the drive. Bourgoin thought about leaving it, just couldn't get a paddle out the way. So, second scoring opportunity. 2 points from the gold medal here for Hill and Bourgoin. Ball takes. Big bounce off the top spin roll. So, now or never, Simon.
It feels that way, doesn't it? And although you can always say when you get to 9, you're only 2 away, and there's a bit of pressure on Bourgoin because they've only got to win those 2 points, and sitting that adds. There we go. So there's a mistake from him, trying to play what he thinks is the right game.
Just wonder if Kenna and Frylinck just get some momentum, and again she works the ball.
Everything right, into his feet, pop up, but unfortunately put him from there.
You know, we've seen in this second game the strategy we was mentioning, Simon, about getting that ball to bounce in the kitchen.
Yeah,
is definitely there for the taking. Just a couple of missed opportunities on the volley. Yeah, look at that from Nathan Hill, just peppering Helen Kenna. Gets the side out. So, is it time to crown the champions of our mixed doubles over 50s here?
That's a great work point by Hill.
Championship point, Simon Farr, it's championship point, it's gold medal point. Bourgoin and Hill can seal the deal here and walk away from Basingstoke, the Hampshire Court Hotel, with the gold medals. Not just yet, because that's nicely defended by Kenna and Frylinck, who keeps their hopes alive. Second championship point, second gold medal point here at the Tournated Basingstoke Pickleball Cup.
Big save from Bourgoin. There we go.
And there it is, Nathan Hill and Claire Bourgoin are our over 50s mixed doubles gold medalists for the Tournated Basingstoke Pickleball Cup, here live from the Hampshire Court Hotel, powered by Sketch.